I told you there's a simple way to keep you from cracking open a bad raw egg? Interested? Kinda? Alright, are you sick and tired of brewing bitter coffee whenever you try to brew your own coffee at home? Pretty much. That's why I'm here today to help you throw your worries away. And I'm going to inform you, my sweet audience, about chemical tricks that will help solve all the problems listed up there. And why am I telling you this? That's horrible, right? And you probably don't want it like at 7 a.m. in the morning. Boom. And I know a lot of you do make coffee and omelet for breakfast in the morning. Now I'm sure you wanted to make it quick so you can get to work on time. But then at the same time, you want to ensure the quality of your breakfast as well. So, I mean, I cannot imagine having bitter coffee and dealing with bad eggs at 7 a.m. in the morning. I'm sure like you guys don't want it to happen to you either. So, and now some of you may be questioning the credibility of what I'm gonna say. However, these tricks have been used and proven to be effective all around the world. For example, the coffee trick is a tradition in some parts of northern Scandinavia, Turkey, and Hungary to add a pinch of salt to coffee in order to reduce the bitterness of it. And the egg trick that I'm about to tell you is proven to be the best method to test the freshness of eggs. So let's head to the main point and figure out salt fixes bitter coffee, and eggs and water can be used to test the freshness of eggs. So let's move to the first point, the myth between salt and coffee. So my main point is salt not sugar that has been proven to effectively reduce the bitterness of coffee. So as we all know, bitterness is an important flavor in coffee, but under less than optimal extraction conditions, it can be too dominant. In fact, according to scientists at Technical University of Munich in Germany, 15% of bitterness in coffee comes from caffeine only. The rest of it comes from two antioxidant compounds, chlorogenic acid lactose, or LAC, usually present in lighter roasted coffee, and phenolphthaleins, usually present in darker roasted coffee, and they are the breakdown products of LAC, which explains why when you roast it hotter, it gets bitter and harsher. Which leads us to the next point. Turns out adding salt to coffee isn't as weird as it may sound at first. I'm going to tell you how it works. So in 2001, Manaus Chemical Senses Center discovered that sodium in sodium chloride suppresses bitterness. Specifically, salt binds to your taste receptors and trick them into believing that bitterants are not bitter. So think about this, like Mr. Salty tricks your brain and your tongue into believing that bitterants are not bitter, and hence they let it pass through. So you just keep drinking coffee without feeling the bitterness of it. So knowing that salt fixes bitter coffee, then how much should we add to coffee? Well, according to Alton Brown, popular cookbook author, a quarter teaspoon added to 6 tablespoons of coffee grounds should be enough to neutralize the bitterness of coffee and enhance the sweetness of sugar if you wish to add sugar into it. Technically, there isn't like a specific recipe or anything like that. You just add if you feel like you want it. Just don't add too much of it. Then the second trick is water identifies bad eggs. So usually we rely on the date on the packaging to tell us when food has gone bad, even with eggs. But if you've been doing that all the time and throwing eggs away just because of the expiration date, you could be like wasting perfectly good food because expiration dates are arbitrary, usually sometimes. Hence, food can still be good after the expiration date, like for a day or two, or even a week for eggs. So, how do we do that? First of all, you fill a bowl with water, then you drop your eggs gently into that bowl of water. If your egg sinks and lays flat, well, congratulations, you have a perfectly good egg to eat. If they're like a few weeks old and still edible, they'll stand on one end at the bottom. But if they're floating, boom, you're gonna throw them away, sadly. Now, how does it work so well? Well, eggshells are porous, which means that they let air pass through. So fresh eggs haven't had time for air to pass through the shells. So technically there isn't any air in the eggs, so they usually sink down to the bottom. For older eggs have had more time for air to penetrate the shell, so they usually float. In conclusion, I just told you 2 tricks that salt fixes bitterness of coffee. Water can be used to test the freshness of eggs. After all, those tricks are cost-free. I'm sure housewives will need that for sure. And I can promise you that a little science knowledge will go a long way when it comes to solving everyday problems. Thank you. All right, any questions? Yes.
Have you tried these tricks yourself?
I have, actually, yes. So my mom used to check the eggs by the plate and sniffing test. I mean, it's quite effective, but you can totally see it. It's not fun smelling the bad eggs. So I looked it up online. I asked my teacher, my chemistry teacher, and he showed me that trick. And I went home and told my mom to do it. She was like, "Wow, you're so smart." So yeah. Yes.
Can you tell the difference from like the bitterness of the coffee before you add salt and when you add the salt? Or have you compared it?
Definitely. So before you add salt, you usually feel like the harsh bitterness of that. But then after you add salt, you can only feel like just the bitterness, not like burned bitterness of that. So, or you can choose to add salt and sugar, which will lead to normal coffee that you usually have, but like less burned and harsh. Yes.
Is the reason you put salt in coffee the same reason that you put like salt on, I think it's like watermelon or something to make it
Yes,
sweeter?
definitely. So salt usually enhances the flavor, like any kind of flavor that you wish to add to the food. So sweet, sugar, I don't know, any flavor, bitter. Sometimes you want some bitter flavor in your food, I think. So yeah. Right.
Which one of those tricks are your favorite? Your personal favorite?
The coffee trick. Because usually I see people add sugar a lot to their coffee, but then they'll be like, "Oh God, still bitter. I don't know what to do with it. I should just throw it away." And I was like, "Well, stop. You can just add a bit salt to it, just a pinch. Watch, boom. Perfect." Yeah. So yeah. It helps when you want to help you out or you want to help yourself out. Yeah. Nathan?
Does salted coffee taste like salt?
No, it tastes like normal coffee.
Okay.
Yeah. It tastes like normal coffee, but like less, like I said, like less burned, less harsh. So yeah, anything else?